Renner back here, guys, and we're gonna go over the top 3 or top 4 most important mods to do to your L5P Duramax truck. And yeah, let's get started. So the first mod that I would recommend, let's get up on the step stool here because we got a leveling kit. But anyway, first mod we're gonna do is charge pipes. Banks charge pipes. I can't express to you guys how much of a difference the charge pipes did on this truck. Charge pipes, not only did it give me better spool up, better power towing, not per se better horsepower, but I did notice about a 1 mile per gallon difference towing on this truck with those charge pipes. And overall, the turbo just lights up easier. Everyday driving's better. That turbo does not have to spool as hard to make the same power. The turbocharger is just living his best life. Number 2 is going to be the Banks cold air intake. So the Banks cold air intake is a patented Monster Ram system here. And I'm not sponsored by Banks by any means. From just what I saw, Banks is probably one of the top leaders in terms of Duramax performance modifications. So I already popped this cover off here for you guys to see. But Banks makes it very easy to service this cold air intake. So it's a true cold air intake. If I could just get this cover off here. Banks makes a very nice ram air system that's easy to service. You got 4 bolts. And what intake can you say has such a big opening as this? Most intakes neck down to a smaller diameter right by the mass airflow sensor to make up for those air values. Now, I'm going to be cleaning this air filter, but check out the size of that air filter. I mean, it's bigger than my head. It's huge. And so when I put this cold air intake system on my truck, I noticed better spool up. It wasn't obnoxiously loud. When you're just towing up a grade, you hear that crazy turbo spool. You hear it subtly, but it's not annoying, which is what I like. Number 2, what I like about this intake, it uses the factory hood scoop right here. So it's got the front grill scoop, ram air from the front, and ram air through the scoop here. So to me, that was very important. They were already utilizing GM's, I guess you could say per se, factory designed airflow and just de-restricting it, making it flow a lot better into the turbo inlet. Now, another modification that I do recommend for the Duramax, the third modification would be a turbo inlet here. You can see this blue turbo inlet. Now, I just bought it used off Marketplace because I didn't want to pay full price. But Whirly Fab Customs makes those turbo inlets. And from what I've seen, Banks makes a better one. But at the time when I bought that turbo inlet, Banks hasn't come out with theirs yet. So I just left it on the truck. But I noticed, again, just freer flowing air, cleaner airflow, de-restricting the turbo spool. And when I did all these airflow modifications, the truck was just spooling a lot better. And we're going to get to fuel economy in just a second. Banks map sensor relocate. My truck is an emission compliant truck. So there's only so much you can do, so much you could do to a truck to de-restrict it. So I went ahead and got this Banks map sensor relocate because the EGR system plugs up this sensor and it gets readings that are incorrect. So you lose power over time. Every oil change, I used to have to clean this with MAF cleaner because it was just plugged up with soot. So when Banks came out with their map spacer, and S&B makes them and other brands, it's just I happen to get Banks because I have most Banks modifications on my truck. So Banks makes this map spacer so that way the soot doesn't plug it up so easy. So now I only clean it about every 30,000 miles, once a year. And so for me, from cleaning that sensor to going to once a year is a big deal, and it's like $70. So I highly recommend that modification. Now, You're going to be asking, why did I do all these modifications if I'm not tuned? Number one, you know, I bought this truck outright. I want reliability. I don't want to be working on my truck, and I'm trying to get fuel economy. So the last modification I did, because I tow a lot, is the DPF back 5 to 5 inch pipe right here. This pipe right here, I mean, I can't even express it. I noticed the difference right away when I was on the throttle, just immediate. When I put it on, the truck would just breathe easier and flow better. So you might ask yourself, okay, you spent all this money. Why did you do it? Well, my truck, I actually bought it wrecked in the front. The charge pipes were already damaged. And so I went to a better OEM pipe, I guess you could say, to replace it. Overall, from stock fuel economy to after I did all these modifications, I noticed a 3 miles per gallon difference on the highway. So I would save a lot of money. I put a lot of miles on. So not only is my truck running better, it's healthier. I got a 3 miles per gallon difference with the DPF back, the charge pipes, the turbo inlet, the cold air intake, and that's not even tuned. What am I trying to say here? Your vehicles, these new trucks, they're getting absurdly expensive nowadays. I mean, a new Ford F-350 Platinum Dually costs $117,000, not even out the door yet. So you want to invest into your truck. You want it to last. You want it to be reliable. And the last modification I'm going to go over for this video is the Spilab PCV delete on these trucks. So as you can see right here, Spilab is the brand. I'm not sponsored by them either. There's a PCV block off kit. It just vents from atmosphere. What you would have is you would have a hose relocating the PCV fumes from your crankcase into the turbo inlet and oiling down your turbo blades, oiling down your turbo runner, the turbo inlet, by that I mean. And I just ran the hose down under the truck. It's a pretty affordable kit. On these trucks, that PCV system is plastic. It always fails, it always leaks. It's all billet aluminum CNC machined, installed. And I will put the links below to all of the modifications that I've done to this truck. So that way you guys can do the same thing for your truck. And by this video, we're up to 5 modifications. And if someone sees this metal tank, the truck was actually wrecked here originally. So I got the WhirleyFab custom tank, but it's not something I would recommend because it doesn't enhance your performance. It's mainly just a metal look type of deal. I actually don't necessarily love it because it's hard to check the coolant level since the gauge is behind the fender and you can't really see very well down into here. So that's it for you guys. Renner Vulcan here. Tap that link below. Like, subscribe, share, comment below what kind of modifications you have. Is it by S&B? Is it by AFE? Who makes your modifications? Why did you go with them? I have a whole bunch of different brands in my truck. The majority is Banks, but I want to hear what your opinion is and what performance or fuel economy benefits you have seen since you did these modifications. Take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.